Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 9813 Unit 229. And these are tenant here. It's the bald male and the white trash blonde. She's actually here at the front desk. And I want to get the days where Dr. Jaffe is here. There's a high threat level of kidnapping, rape, and there's also of let's threaten her. Well, the doctor's here, then he could pretend she's. There was a suicide threat earlier of commit suicide, you will slit your wrists. The was telling me I wasn't going to eat again. And he threatened, and this whore was talking about English people, also talking about bugging me, shooting. So she works at the front desk. This is DSC, and this is 329-10507 Aurora Avenue 3. Black Nazi bitch was in here also telling me I was going to go with him somewhere. And so there's possibly dirty security guards from the Pike Place Market, and one of them told me I was going to go with him. He's pretending he's a policeman. He said, I'm taking you in today. This is a janitor's room. There's a whore rattling a chain. Dr. Jaffe was out earlier, and there were possibly 2 dirty cops or 1 from the Seattle Police Department. And somebody pressed on my door, so I have motion detectors when I take a shower today. Very so. So one will have to be beaming at the front door. One here because they threatened to move the refrigerator to break in quickly, and you're showering, you can't hear it. I actually experimented. I'd never moved a full-size refrigerator before. And I have a bad back, and I was able to rock it and just kind of move it along. One of the horses making threats, which is a threat. And no, she's in on putting glass on me, which they sprinkled my apartment. She was calling it salted. She said, no longer pretty, it's salted. And so he was talking about cutting. It happens to me anywhere. It's pretty much connecting with a dirty cop from 13 years ago, Officer Bobby also of the police department, and the dirty cop was from Tri-Court. And the dirty cop, he actually comes here as well. And there's a bum making a threat. He shouldn't be here, and he's playing all day, Lisa. I don't, keep my mouth clamped shut, especially now because it's risen to a head where I was mutilated, and the attacks or attempts at attacks have grown very intense. And so yesterday, even on the bus, there was a nutcase girl, and he was saying a bank or shopping. So what's going to happen is I'm going to get all these people, see how crazy the U.S. is, and you need to come in with Homeland Security, and you need tanks, and you need to round up everybody, and I'm going to show you. So if you're out there listening to this, I want you to have Homeland start rolling in tanks. We need a military presence. You need to be careful. These are zombies. They will infect you. You probably already are in some capacity. You need to roll in the tanks, and you need to first start collecting all the black Nazis. You also need to find every blood and every Zeta and every street gang member. And I'm going to tell you, the last 13 years, I haven't seen one normal person. So you basically need to cordon off the country if possible, but start with Washington State. You can't go wrong. I would lock up the whole state. And say there's, just some zombie out in the Tules. Well, these morons will get to that person and then have that person maybe getting free tickets, and they're homeless, so they're gonna threaten to shoot me through the wall, click a gun, and try to shoot me maybe, pour poisons in, and maybe they're getting new back and new coat from the social services. Social services are all run by the dirty gangs. Who's running the gangs? The policeman of the Seattle Police Department, guard, and he was probably covering up a meth lab and other crimes. And I hear sort of a voice here. It sounds like a young voice. That can be, doesn't sound very tall either. And so the whore was out there talking to like the male who doesn't work here. She like her contact. She likes him, I guess. And she was talking about no zombies. They'll talk about apparently normal sex, and then they will launch into weird topics like, well, she's no longer pretty after we're going to cut her. And he might use a code for her. And she says, no longer pretty, she was salted. And what, so salted as in they put glass on. And so the glass, she on it. Police department guys who tried, now I was getting raped 13 years ago. A couple cops have tried to ruin me further, having me tortured. How? Well, standing in an empty janitor's room, telling somebody they're crazy and they're going to kill them and that they're sacrificing. I think from downstairs in the wall that we just showed. It's she. It's a blonde female, and she's 40. She's got that the U.S. glorified the retarded trash that has babies on welfare that works, and Dr. Jennifer, and this whore that works at the front desk, she's going to be in the wall. FBI, count on it. And the dirty cops get to their friends, or low life. Some have jobs, not here, places. Obviously, some people have that. We're talking war because zombies have threatened war. The Black Nazis have threatened every NATO country and other states. Am I threatening? No. And the Black Nazis think enslaved me. Black Nazis are heavily into enslavement and forced pregnancies. I don't want to buy. I think they're ugly. Indigents to come in and indigent in to rape me. His Seattle Police Department and the gangs are in. Well, if you won't let them in one way 13 years ago, and Officer Bobby specializes in the creep from trial court, and there's a bum playing supposition. Nobody wants to hear your yapping face. You know, you're taking threats. Go to hell, ugly bitch. Oh, no. Then he said the supposition, and then he just went into the word gallon. So he can't even talk like he's in for a few minutes. He said the word, they're involved in bloodletting. So I'm going to be your wartime correspondent, and hopefully I can get the hell away when the real shooting starts. And if they try to enslave Black Nazis, including the Seattle Police Department, they love one's a racist if they oppose them. And so they're there. But that can't, these people playing chocolate rule start shooting people more openly, which they're still sneaky and overt right now. And by the way, I've been terrorized for 13 years, and there are no whites. I believe they're all zombies, all with Satan, by Black Nazis and other shits. People either. She's white trash, moron, and she can't even do a job out committing a crime. There's a bum playing, you're going to blah, 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 blah. Units, so they're called bumps. An actual crawl space. She's a gonorrhea drip bitch. She's retarded. She's a heroin monkey. This is a white, ugly female. If it's the one I'm thinking of, she's disgusting, foul, dripping with smell. Mucus all over your food, water, in your shower, and she's The males like to smear their ejaculate. They like to put fecal into the water. Yes, and then he defecated into the water. Doing this for 15 years, and it's a satanic principle where they think to have you suck. You're the whore of the world. They rape you and ejaculate all over your stuff. Now, lock my stuff up. Now, I spill toothpaste. Now, this is toothpaste. That's toothpaste. And sometimes that'll happen because someone's, in the janitor's room trying to hassle me. So I spilled the toothpaste. So, but the bums, they have house and ejaculate on your stuff, and you're like, I don't think that's toothpaste. Through the wash differently. It doesn't look like toothpaste. They'll follow you around, pretending along with the video they've taken you being gang raped. And the Seattle Police Department's in on it. That's why the whole system flourished so well. It gets rather complex. I want to deal with the main things going on right now, which would be to set up motion detectors because they were trying to push that door open. Hacking and setting up motion detectors. And one of the whores chanting mainframe husbands. So believe it or not, she's trying to activate magic with the word mainframe husbands. And what do they call these vile bombs that are rapists, including the black Nazi turds who pretend they're police? They're calling them husbands. And one of them's playing, "You were chosen to die by violence." Yesterday or so, they were telling me how 8 would eat me. And the two on cannibalism and child molestation, torture, and they actually view the whites as devils. They've launched a big campaign along with their white counterparts against, quote, in the gang with them. Then it's okay. It's just like if they target you for having a large forehead, if you're in the gang, there's a paranormal aspect to it too. So they might, curse you because you have a large head. But then if you're in the gang, reward you for having. And these are filth of the world. And one of them's calling something by the name that they like to portray the legal agency. They like to mimic legal agencies. And they're calling it alcohol, tobacco. And so they actually have fooled people by playing alcohol, tobacco, and let's see, so instead of ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, they call them alcohol and tobacco and portray that they can bust you. People, including prostitutes. Door closed to the bathroom because there's water running. But the sad thing is about the water. The water, you could run it till the cows come. But then they're going to get in there behind the shower, and they're going to dump fecal, and they've been radiation. And yesterday, I think it was the bad copy said it really was radiation. Because, I'm not an expert. Unlike these bastards that portray they're expert, not an expert. And just note, by the way, that a lot more threats have heard when Dr. Jaffe is here. Filthy cops. Will have controlled bitch slaps, and so you're gonna see these people guilty because they won't argue, and even if they did argue, now by the way they're arguing, if you're an expert in lying, bums are guilty of like walk by us, and she had stated, "Oh, well, I've got an ambulance to take you to Bellevue." Well, that's a threat. Had I called it, and somebody just snapped their fingers and they're playing leader or Libra. In on trying to change people's identity. So you're going to hear constant threats from them regarding identity, because they want to even force you to change your name, and then they would have somebody else identity. So let's say they have been taking illegal surveillance of you, and the dirty cop might have stayed hidden till this like 6 months ago. So you realize it's the dirty cop 13 years ago. And so they and the dirty cops, the video you are legal, and they're doing experiments background. Now I do know that, by the way, they will play family, and I don't actually. There's an estrangement situation with they're just this time period when there was a house sale. Well, they tried to pretend I was around Irish people talking. So there's a possibility, and he is a contractor, and whom do the members love besides fake cops and contractors and carpenters? Why? If they can't get at you the regular way of or breaking the door down, they'll remove the door. They'll have the floor like a puzzle, and have the puzzle piece like you can you're up through the floor, and then you can do things and disguise yourself. Have a gas in person thinks they're doing presto. Maybe you've been pregnant. They're sleep. Pictures are taken, video, blackmail you emotionally even, and state that you're some sort of whore because you're sleeping with the guys that gang raped you. So there's a male named Blackmer, and he is a blood, I believe. He probably came from California. He's traveled a lot. What they did on the trips. So my own, that would be half. She's not anything significant at home. So Larry Blackmer himself might even be here. It's not just. And if not today, I believe he's involved because the gang family, and you have to realize, someone, what they'll do is even pull fake and real family members out of a hat. It might be your cousin you don't even know, and then that thing becomes your power of attorney, illegally, of course. Maybe you're drugged and this thing would work miraculously. Ooh, Sonny's here to take care of me. And, my sister after me. Of ignoring, or me ignoring her. Gang members want to know their quarry. Remember, it's starting with Seattle Police Department. So they're going to know their quarry. With the FBI. And there's probably people which the FBI tell them don't listen to her, she's crazy, at the very least. So Homeland Security needs to come in and see who's who. And Larry Blackmer is a contractor, by the way, and had construction. He still has it if you look it up. I looked it up like 8 months ago, just out of curiosity. And they sold their house. Someone told me they sold their house. I wasn't even interested. For $1 million. His daughter's name is Melissa Udd. She's married to Steve Udd. That's my sister's kid too, of course. They'll pop out with a network of, you're going to a mental hospital. It might be a dirty doctor, fake doctor. And so they'll even pull fake or real kin, next of kin. And so this would be the estranged kin plot. And I think he may have hung out here, which makes me wonder about him if he's hung out here. I wonder now if he's involved with smoking meth and getting money. We know he's probably involved in getting. I'll bet you he smokes meth. In his late, let's see, so he'd be 69 or so. So that's, you know, there are late meth smokers, and his name is Larry Blackmer Construction. So now would be big, because not only can they people secret rooms and make a place clear, no crime scene ever happened, from what happens, and then also what they've done. Because they'll give you like weird dates over and over, like Wednesday, everything Wednesday. Take advantage of the Wednesday this, Wednesday that. I commit them. So you can pull the same trick you do others. So a lot of this, the gang members try to hide under like obscuring, and the dirty cops and their connections with this. And my brother said, I hope, he actually has a construction company, quite good with computers. He was like a prodigy. And he worked with Spielberg. Some of the gang members just said that he knew black Nazis. And the black that these bums will call the people they wish. And the bums that threatened Irishman repeatedly and cursed. Now, I thought I heard my in-law's voice. I can't guarantee he's here, but they think he's been here. Big black work vans. I was going to tell you what kind of vehicles these people. They like down vehicles of cops, medical. I've seen ill-maintained medical vans from 40 years ago that were no longer. There's a bum shouting at me because I told about Larry. And, let's see. So, vehicles, without going off into another tangent. Englishmen, now. So, remembering something about a black van in the area about 13 years ago. And I'm sorry. Well, I don't have to apologize, actually. Everybody fell with Satan 13 years ago. And so, now, driving around in a black vehicle like my brother-in-law's is a big black van. Someone's very agitated. You won't be able to hear it unless you separate what they're saying, because this is a smartphone. Cell phones have noise. But did I take my med? All these poisonings that I've... It's a person that they did it to. The gang rapes and all... and just that's another story. Now, so there could have been a connection with my step, or I'm not going to state the building actually will help me move out or something. 12 years ago. What I'm going to say is my son-in-law might have had a connection. Also, my sister, she's nothing to me. They you know, the economy can actually include door, secret rooms, etc. Seattle Police involved heavily. I've even had gang members tell me things that I need for swiveling bed apartments. It's actually called LaSalle Hotel in Pike Place Market. It is an antique historical building here, because I'm not then obscure prince, blah, 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 blah. London, an obscure prince. So the dirty black Nazi scumbags like to make threats like you're going to against a country. Their threat is basically terrorism, bombing. Girl says no one's listening and no one will do anything. So he's very happy to the black Nazi. And it actually, if anyone does it, too late, everybody's pretty much in the U.S., especially, actually the U.S., but in the rest of the world. And why would I give the United States to black Nazis? So the black Nazi bastard, one of them, he said that they will give him half the country or something. So you can't really be jealous because they're, retarded people. Jealousy is not the word. Not jealousy. So I was a little close to the motion detector. It's good, I think, to have a motion detector today, especially Dr. Jaffe's here. So any of may have had a connection to my blood thing. Maybe even building it, but the bomb worked for one of them. It might indeed be hard to tell when you just have voices yapping, threatening you, and you can't really tell who it is. Well, that's a common thing. Doesn't mean you're psychotic because you can. It's like, managers will probably use a detector because you want people to break. On front, someone's entered the support. You're not going to eat again. You're going to fuck off, ugly bitch. You subbed like a whining slave on video too, so it's good to flip them off regularly. If I fuck off, that's my answer to stick off. I just like the rest of the gang, like a drippy gonorrhea laden horror thing in the wall. Cook for them. There's constant slave threats. I'm not. And let me tell you this: I can get pretty feisty, and you lock me. My. Need I comment on that one? Plus, policeman needs meals. The vibration is setting this off. That's not good. I hate to leave this where I don't have it on. And there's a whore talking about how I ruined everything. And see, a lot of these males, they try to talk like they're really big. And so they're talking in like, they'll speak as deeply as possible to, they'll sound like Vader practically to terrorize you. It doesn't do. And it's somebody who actually doesn't deserve a dick. Cowards. Wait, men, they're male. The guys who have tried to harm me, they're actually not men. Males, that's different. Males. They're actually just males. They have nothing to do with men. Plus, you can tell me I'm crazy. I believe and I just made a vow to God that I would never become a Satanist, even if they, they made it so it would be peaceful to be a Satanist, and nobody will care about my check. And he's trying to say you're a machine. So they'll also, in order to kill a victim, they'll actually promote the idea about whites. They're calling them white devils. So it's just, so they've done that with me. So like the more people say, demon, then they can get people killed. So isn't here today. They've expressed too much knowledge about my brother-in-law. I believe he is friends with a couple of these bastards. And they might have even a day labor kind of connection, because there is a connection through the, so the Millionaires Club will hire people under the to pay their insurance. That's what that he insurance for people. I'll be right back. You get a lot of people that I see that are people, and they're in Washington. That's where I am, and they're all pretending that they're police of authority. There's thousands of them. So the bombs like to target Semitic people. So like the black Nazis, they're in town and they act like just very anti-Semitic, and they're playing Orthodox. I mean, there are other Orthodox. And there's another bomb talking about the vow of Satan. I'm the only one who has aura, chakra. I have soul. A retarded black Nazi is playing Lady and basically convict people, and they're a bunch of smelly retards. The whole thing with the smelly black, and they pray that they can walk around and have even their own government systems. So, like, let's say you are just someone they pick on. So they might play, we've got a rape warrant. So they'll use antiquated and also illegal rules to harm a victim, or let's see, rape warrant. So the black Nazis will pretend you're a racist, so they can do, and they want all of your rights. And they're very bad people. One of the bombs is playing God protecting America. So the black Nazis, after, like the president and the Congress, they like to then, and the same with this, then they call themselves America after that. And really, you could have rounded up everybody in Washington to go, taking them off to Guantanamo match. And see, I didn't see a lot of Arabs and Muslims, like blacks and others. And there are what I call the deadly 4 or 5 that have with Nazis. And they're involved, of course, in Zeta and Asian street gangs. And those would be rights in other countries that you know, it's not to. So that would be, of course, they want to destroy whites and others, but the ones who 5 or so, and that would be black Nazis, Hispanic Nazis, obviously. They seem to get most of the protect, by the way. Then there's Native American, Asian, and there's a lot of racism from Asians. Sometimes they've had racism against them, including by black, but there's a lot of racism. And then you have Polynesian, Melanesian, and Micronesian, but the ones I primarily see and Asians. See a lot of Asians. And so they have agenda against Europe. Well, they want to take over the rest of the U.S., and frankly, a lot of them. I'm going to set the phone down. I have to take a shower, and I do have water to rinse off with that I'm Nazis and the other scum want, quite frankly. What they want is to make people that were big, like the white trash whore that wanted me sprinkled with glass. I'm going to make a call. I'm going to call the library.